Anyway, before we proceed to whatever we're going to be doing today, just wanted to let you guys know that my playlist for the Arma 3 Anti-Stasi is available on Twitch. You can actually scan it on the QR code right there, or you can just check out the link over here. I'm highlighting right here. See. Anyway, I really need to get something out because it's a reaction. I need to really just get something out there. Okay? Some of you may have an idea that I don't exactly like what Call of Duty has been shelling out when it comes to both their games and anything related to whatever content that they put inside their games. Look, Activision has every right to develop their game the way they should, but everything about Call of Duty is always changing to the point that it becomes no longer recognizable. It comes to a point in which the most normal of people, they get shut down by activists who defend transgender rights to a point of ridiculousness. To a point of ridiculousness that anything related to transgender rights is accepted. Alright? Here in the Philippines, it has also been looked at very seriously. But there is a line. There is always a line when it comes to content of any kind, whether it comes from games or whether it comes from anything related to the media. Okay? We've come to a point that we now are witnessing LGBTQ designs on weapons. So, this is nothing new, but it's getting more ridiculous every year. It is getting more ridiculous what Activision is doing every freaking year. Content creators had left them because of the honestly cringe-worthy policy and changes to their content. It is so cringe-worthy right here. I left Call of Duty because first off, Battle Royale was rigged and horrible, both as a game and as a live service. It tries to get you triggered. It tries to get you in. You get into a sweaty session, that's how it is. It just becomes worse from there. Anything related to content creation, they are committing to the wrong things. Activision is committing of content relating to content creation of all the wrong things possible. Why? Because they want to keep pushing social ideology out there. Always out there. This is something we have got to stop. But Activision isn't stopping as long as they receive money, and it is hated so much on Steam. Let me remind you that when it is hated so much on Steam, on Steam. Okay. Mostly negative. Always comes up mostly negative. The Call of Duty that's now coming out, they are coming out with ridiculous storytelling. Storytelling that is shallow. Fine, they're easy to understand, but they're way too shallow for those who are actually playing Call of Duty for real. The live service model has wrecked Call of Duty as a whole. The live service model also allowed Call of Duty to actually make changes on their content wholesale or by parts. And for them to add trans bullets, already unacceptable. I have no problem with fighting for transgender rights. My problem is if you're pushing the message that transgender rights are a default thing that you should always fight for, no matter what. We don't live and breathe the same as activists in Call of Duty or in Activision or in any other part of the corporate world, okay? There are a lot more normal people who are actually consuming your product, and all they're doing is ruining the product. That by itself should have been illegal, but nope. The corporate world works completely differently from all the laws related to development, so they call the shots. Unbelievable. So, Call of Duty gets destroyed after putting in trans bullets for LGBTQ Pride Month. What the fuck is this? This is by Ryan Kinnell from Market Outpost. Man. It's already bad enough that I have a clogged nose. But I see this. Call of Duty is becoming trailer trash every second.
We've seen a lot of controversies and backlash in the gaming industry over the last few months, and certainly Call of Duty is no stranger to controversy in general. Over the last several years, time after time, whether it's for the games they're putting out, the gameplay, the monetization schemes, or whether it's for them canceling influencers simply for not being woke, insane lunatics. Well, now it's something completely different, and once again in June, it's all about Pride Month, representation, how proud they are to represent the LGBTQIA+, whatever the fuck they've added since we last got the NPC update. And this year, Call of Duty decided, even though we're sitting in an era where you see massive controversies of trans people going on shooting sprees, that they needed to include transgender representation in Call of Duty, and this time, it's all about trans bullets.
This is even worse. On the trend that transgender people are actually the ones more likely to start shootings. That makes this matter so much worse. They're not insensitive to that. They'll do whatever it takes to push this over being sensitive about issues they should be worried about. Even gamers have an idea that this should not be pushed in the event that there is a shooting made by someone who is transgender. It's not just one, it's multiple. And it has been happening way too often. They're being covered by the media. They're being covered by the media. They're being... It really is ridiculous. They're being shielded by the media simply because they are confused. Being gender confused is something that you cannot be afraid of. But if you push your own assertiveness while you're also gender confused, you deserve to be conducted fairly through the trial process. Let the justice system play and see where it goes. First of all, you broke laws if you're a shooter. Whatever social issues you have, it's not against the law, but it is an issue that you have not resolved yourself. So, whose fault is it? If you have social issues with other people in relation to your gender confusion, of course, if you haven't solved it on your own, you could have found help, but no, you said you wanted to do it on your own. Your freedom to actually do things on your own. You are abusing your right. You're abusing your right to be free by allowing yourself and your anger to take to different people out in public. And now Activision has the balls to actually put something so incredibly stupid just to make a point that transgender rights are more important than what your rights are. Complete bullshit, Activision. What they are doing is complete bullshit.
You can see right here screenshots that started floating around. Yes, indeed, even your bullets can have trans representation. Now, you can take that one of two ways. One, that they have, I don't know, a 41% chance of, going off and hurting the person that's trying to shoot them, or in a much more sinister way. But let's get into this. Call of Duty gives away free Pride gift pack that includes transgender-themed bullets and guns. Now, we've seen a lot of different skins, things like that, but the push for Pride Month just seems so insane over the last couple of years, and it's gone from people rolling their eyes at Pride Month when this stuff is just constantly shoved in your face, to now it's an active pushback from people that are sick and tired of the bullshit. And in the gaming space, where we've been talking about DEI and woke nonsense infesting so many of the games, on the heels of a lot of things, a lot of controversial topics in the transgender realm when it comes to these mass casualty events, man, what bad fucking timing, and pretty disgusting in a lot of people's minds from Activision. The company's official website, it declared, Call of Duty is for everyone, and we're proud to celebrate Pride Month by offering 7 different weapon camo variants, each representing the colors of the different LGBTQ plus flags.
Activision is wrong. LGBTQ flags don't belong on Call of Duty, because Call of Duty is not for everyone, and you should never be proud to celebrate Pride Month. First off, transgender activity happens in the worst ways possible, and if that's not the icing on the cake at all, even transgender rights become a number one topic for people who are trying to cover up for their own crimes. Okay? So what I see Activision do here is all the way complete bullshit. All the way complete bullshit. They do not care about lives. They do not care about common sense. All they care about is rolling in the dough. All they care is rolling in the dough.
Available as a free gift pack, find them in the store in a single bundle. It also shared various screenshots of the weapons, which you can see below. User Bob Network UK, Yoda the Camo, allowed people to obtain transgender-themed bullets as well. And yeah, there's a reason that a lot of people are pushing back on this. Themed bullet shells are not new to Call of Duty, but transgender-themed ones are, and many players and critics are crying foul. You got 9mm SMG right here. If you're still playing Call of Duty, stop. They introduced trans flag bullets to honor Pride Month. With the number of mass shootings involving trans non-binary people recently, it seems they have a motive. And certainly I think it's kind of impossible to ignore. Now, of course, you're going to have these people cry and scream and bitch, well, don't you know that most of these things are carried out by straight white men? Yeah, I guess if you don't include the variety of gang shootings that occur in all the inner cities, if that's how you want to define it, then I guess you might be accurate. However, there's been a lot of these that are very trans pride motivated, and yet this is what Call of Duty is doing. Now, it's not really a surprise, I suppose, because we just got a big leaked internal email from Activision saying they're going further than they've ever gone when it comes to these kind of things. Leaked internal email from Activision declares there's power in pride. And Flash put this out. Grumps confirmed this is an Activision internal email. You got yellow Flash right here with the hashtag Game with Pride, Power in Pride. This is an email that got sent out to Activision employees right here. It's talking about how important it is for them, how DEI is so important to them, how representation is so important to them, how having trans bullets is so important to them. So for people that thought these couple months worth of backlash against woke insanity in gaming, against DEI in gaming, if you thought it was, on its way out because of a couple months of backlash, that's just not the case. That is.
People seem to forget about Kill the Justice League. Suicide Squad killed the Justice League. It was terrible. The terrible writing of that game and the shallow gameplay elements there are, it just tells us they're not even trying to develop a AAA game at all. They're developing a flop because they want to actually make it flop to send the message that anything related to DEI, if it is forced to flop, it is the society that is wrong. Fuck you. First off, you're the one who keeps pushing these messages, and you're being challenged by the system because You think that you're the one who actually deserves all the benefit of the doubt when it comes to the system hurting you? Are you serious right now? You're the one who's actually committing crimes here. Yeah, this is exactly what a crime is. This is exactly what a crime is right here, man. Seriously. This is complete bullshit.
It's not the case at all. Call of Duty, Activision, some of the biggest players in the industry, they are 100% down with this agenda, despite a lot of people calling them out for this shit right here. Obviously, a lot of people covering the trans bullets and what that means. It's really fucked up in a lot of people's mind, but this is where we are. Representation above all. Let me know your thoughts about all this in the comments section below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.
The time when transgender people are actually making the hella problems for law enforcement and for people who are just living their lives normally. Call of Duty just pushes the message. Transgender rights are more important than your life. You can go fuck them, first of all. If there's anything related to Call of Duty that is in your computer right now, I want you to only uninstall Warzone and the Modern Warfare 2019 series. It is a complete failure. It is an entirely complete failure from there. Okay, it's always been. Look, I get what they're trying to do. But with the massive changes that they're making, with the massive things that they've actually been expressing, it just isn't for me. It was never for me. And now I'm more convinced that they're going to go into that rabbit hole that if a live service continues to thrive because it is being paid by transgender rights activists, let me just tell you, those transgender rights activists deserve to be put. I'm going to very much make a separate video in regards to this. Anything related to media being transformed just because. And why? Just why? Why did it have to be that way? Game is being ruined enough, and they don't even give a fuck as to how they want to ruin it. They just need to because they just want to be noticed. Well, the clout is beginning to be a problem for them. Okay? Should be a problem. They're not underdogs. These transgender rights activists are not underdogs here. They're complete morons. They're complete morons. And maybe if they are not morons, they do not care about what society is telling them straight. That society does not need their change in pace. No, fuck you. Society needs to move on from your bullshit that you're pushing all by yourself. Go fuck yourself. All they just needed to do was leave things alone. And they fucking pissed me off. This sucks, man. All of this just sucks, man. Wanna be mad. I don't want to be mad at all, but they're giving me a reason to be mad. They're giving me a reason to never trust Activision. Actually reform from what they're doing. They're never going to reform, and I was right. I called it. I fucking called it.